3, 2, 1. You're listening to Latino Living,
Hola a todos, welcome back to Latino Living,
a podcast about the lives of Latinos in Louisiana.
Okay, done. Cut the camera.
Este podcast es parte de HSJA at Northwestern State University.
Hola. Hola.
During each episode, we will share with you topics that affect las vidas de Latinos in este corner of the state.
My name is Allison Flores. I'm your technical director and your editor.
I'm Natalie Matthews, your assistant producer.
I'm Juliana Nobles, your social media director.
I'm Matiari Perez, your set design coordinator.
I'm Valentina Puak, your marketing coordinator.
I am Isabel Juarez, your co-host and co-producer.
I'm Lia Portillo, your host and producer. And this is Latino Living, un podcast para todos. That's a lot of work, man. Hola a todos, welcome back to Latino Living.
Y bienvenidos a un nuevo episodio.
We're your hosts, Lia Portillo,
Y Isabel Juárez.
and today's episode is titled Más allá del look.
But what does this really mean, Lia?
Oftentimes, because we look Hispanic or because we say we're Hispanic, that does not mean that people are going to automatically guess correctly what country we're really from.
This may be because of many things, but mainly because people have already associated an idea of what a Hispanic is or what it should be into one country.
Pero we know that Latin America is diverse, and it's these diversities that make each of our cultures unique.
So hopefully you enjoyed this episode as much as you guys liked the other episode, which we got to talk a little bit about Guatemalan culture and how it differs from our culture.
So let us know what country people associate you're from the most, and give us a little bit of a backstory of why people may think this.
And do you guys like it? Do you guys not? What do you guys think?
Hi, Chris. How
Hey,
are you?
I'm good.
Okay, so we're going to play a little game, and it's going to be guess what country we're from.
Okay, let's do it.
What country am I from?
You're from Mexico,
Nah.
Colombia,
Nah.
Honduras.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay, guess what country?
Colombia.
Yeah.
I'm so
That
good.
was easy.
I'm so good.
Today we hear from Dr. Allison Rittmayer, a professor here at NSU who teaches English and film.
And two Honduran students that talk to us a little bit more about stereotypes and más allá de nuestro look.
Well, stereotypes are always about reducing an identity, some feature of someone, a personality type, to the most basic characteristics. And that means flattening out the differences. And I think that is exactly the problem here, that when we flatten out the differences, we don't know what they are, right? Most people don't know what they are. And that leads to beliefs of, okay, you have to behave a certain way, you have to dress a certain way, speak a certain way. Otherwise, you don't fall in this category because you don't fit the stereotype.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it's flattening out, well, different countries of origin, different regions, even within a country, have different heritages, different customs, different dialects, even, all of those things get reduced when you're talking about stereotypes.
Hi, guys. We're at the Student Union, and we're asking people what country Latino Living podcast hosts are from. So we have here
Dakota.
And yeah, you can have it. Dakota, tell me, where do you think I'm from?
Are you from the Dominican Republic? No.
No.
Is it Puerto Rico?
No.
What?
Those are good guesses.
My geography is not the up to date. Colombia?
No. Central America. There's 6, 7 countries in Central America.
Are there really? Oh, am I thinking of the wrong places?
Probably. It's okay.
Guess what country I'm from? It's close to Honduras.
What is it? Okay, give me another hint. Like,
It's right above Honduras.
No, it's not. It's like right there. No, it's not. It is. No, it's
Honduras
not.
is right here.
It's close to the U.S.
It's very close to the U.S. Very close to the U.S. Mexico is very close to the U.S.
So today we have with us
Kevin from Honduras. I'm a music business major. I play horn. Yeah, that's it.
Y también tenemos a
I'm Joel. I am music business major as well. I play the oboe, and I'm from Honduras and Pedro Sula as well.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking, the title of our episode is Más allá del look. And so what do you guys think that means?
Well, I think maybe what people think after they see us for the first time, like where are we from, or where do we come from, what are we doing here, stuff like that.
Kind of what Joel said. When people look at you, they make a self-impression about like yourself, and I think look is very important, or it's like a character, like your person, like.
Yeah, for sure. So we wanted to touch a little bit on this, or backing on that question, have you guys ever been confused by another ethnicity or assumed that you guys were from another country than Honduras?
Yeah, a lot of times. A lot of times. When I just came here, I started working at a Chick-fil-A campus, and first thing they asked me, "Hey, are you from?" And they stated another country, any other country, but not Honduras. And well, I expected that because a lot of people come from different countries, and that's just normal. They assume other stuff.
That happened to me several times as well. In the airplane, actually, I was like just ready to like sit down and whatever, like get relaxed. And there was this girl that it was from Venezuela, and I started. I don't know. We started like talking, and she thought I was like from Venezuela as well. So and I was like, what do I look like? And so yeah, that was like one of the first times when I got here.
Were you talking in Spanish?
Yeah, it was.
Yes.
Yeah, we're talking, and then she just. Oh.
And then like she assumed I was from Venezuela.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very two different dialects too, though.
Yeah.
Sí, entonces como que cargando de eso, like what about your accent? Like okay, like that's kind of weird because like Venezuelans have like a whole different accent than Hondurans, and Hondurans have a whole different accent than Mexicans. So whenever you guys like talk, do you guys automatically like see that look and other people's like, oh, you're not from here? You know, they're like, oh.
I mean, we get that a lot, but I think when we talk to other people, like we like we like the Spanish of us like changes a little bit, so it's not like very from our country, like very slang, and we like just talk like normal Spanish so that people can understand us.
For me, at least, is when I'm trying to explain something, I messed up a lot my English because some things I can't say, or I start thinking in Spanish, like, oh, this thing in Spanish, like, esta cosa que está aquí. Like, translating that in English and explaining that to someone, and they can, like, I can see it in their faces that they be like, oh, yeah, she's definitely not for me. So, yeah, maybe that, like, while explaining something.
And then we actually like make fun of Lia porque we say that she's like the most Hondu Mexicana out here because she's like you said that you start picking up like sayings y palabras de las otras personas, and here at NSU at least is a whole bunch of countries in one.
Yeah.
So like that kind of happened with Lia.
It's que I like to keep everyone on their toes. I like to be like, guess where I'm from. But I think what's interesting at NSU is that because we have such a large population of Colombians and Hondurans and Mexicans, they kind of like rotate between like where they guess. Like the other day, they assumed Isa was from Cuba.
Crazy. I was like, because usually they get it right. Usually they're like, I mean, everybody's first guess is always Mexican, and I'm like, ¿Sí soy? Sí soy. Yes, I am.
But I think that kind of speaks to like the diversity that NSU has, because they're like, oh, sometimes they'll be like, oh, you're Colombian, right? I was like, no. They still don't see me as Honduran. Maybe I should do something about that. But for now, what do you guys ever get confused about being Colombian or any other, or is it just like they just assume Mexico?
I mean, they just assume like international, not specifically like Mexican, but like yeah, from another country that is not using.
And then why do you think it's important for like people to just ask, just like start a conversation of like, oh, where are you from?
I think it's important because like you engage with the people, like you getting their background, so you can like it can become more easier to talk with them, and having a little bit understanding like their background is important.
Then, like, touching on that, how do you think they should approach that way or that question? Because sometimes it can be like, I feel like they think it's going to be like rude to ask de donde it is, or like, where are you from, you know? So would you guys rather like them ask or like assume? Give me this way.
Yeah, I would rather them to ask, or at least ask, hey, are you from here? Instead of, hey, are you from this country exactly? Yeah, I much rather that because I think that gives the impression that they do care where you're from, instead of, oh, you're from here, you know. So I think that's important, because it could build the relationship or whatever you're talking with that person will be.
Yes, I mean I'd rather for people to ask you like just a simple question like where are you from, and that's simple, it's harmless.
Yeah.
I think so too, because I feel like whenever you're just like saying a statement like you're from here, then it's like not inviting, like Joel was saying. But also like I know that it's a scary question to ask. It's scary to like be like, where are you from? If you don't mind me asking, you're Hispanic?
I feel like that's so intimidating for people now. They're like, oh, like I don't want to offend you, but like I want to know, but like I also like, how do I ask without sounding like rude or racist or whatnot? Which that also brings us to like the look. Like I've assumed people are from other countries, and I'm just like, who's he from? And then like it turns out that he's like from a whole different country, and I'm just like, oh.
You hear them listening.
Yeah.
Be like, nah.
Yeah. Say that? Oh no. Say that? Oh no. So have you guys like had that happen, or do you guys do that often?
Well, what I do is I just immediately ask like, Espanol? And if they don't say anything, or if they're just confused, I'll keep speaking in English.
I mean, I sometimes like ask my friends if they know that person. I mean, that makes it easier because that a friend can tell you more from another person, like their background or where they're from.
Then you assuming.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think like I feel like for me for the longest time I think I was scared of like asking people, like asking other Hispanics where they're from, because I mean, coming from southern Louisiana, there was only like Mexicans and Hondurans, not Colombians. I only met Colombians till I was here, and so which is also like an inherent bias that I also have sometimes, that I'll see a new international pop in and I was like, oh, you're from Colombia, and they're like, no. I was like, I'm sorry. But yeah, no, like I think it's something that even as Hispanics we have that problem. It's not just like like other people who don't understand what like that there's more than just one country, Latin America, but rather that we ourselves also like inherit that bias. And sometimes like I would think that a person that has lived in the U.S. and that has accustomed to the American the values and the standards, like myself. Some people will assume that I'm not even Hispanic or that I don't know Spanish, and so that's also sort of like a jab at identity. And I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
Well, I'm not at that point. Like I'm not at that English or the way I am. I still have things from my country, accent, things that I do, maybe jokes that I just translated into English.
Para mí, I think like a bunch of people have assumed that I'm American because I also like hang out with a bunch of Americans, like where I grew up. So it's always like such a reality check for me because I'm like, they thought it was American. Like how could they think that? So and then I was like, wait, like I gotta get back in my Mexican side, I gotta start picking it up. I've been here that long. I've been here in the States that long that I don't even have like an accent or like any of this. And I'm just like, oh my God, I have to call my mom. So yeah. What about you?
By people assuming that I didn't grow up there, or by people thinking that because I was only there for 9 years, that I'm not Honduran enough somehow. And I think that's what Más Allá del Look is about, is how we think that we're not Hispanic enough or we're not our country enough because people assume different things than we are.
Yeah, and not just because like we've adapted like to the American customs or whatnot. We stopped being Mexican or we stopped being wherever we're from. So yeah, I think that's what we wanted to touch with Más Allá del Look. Like, yeah, we are more than just this. We are more than that. We are also this. But also like having a conscience that we're not gonna be American enough for the Americans, because like the Americans are always gonna be like, oh, you said this word wrong. Every time they do that too, I'm always like, es que no hablo inglés.
Roll your R's.
I think it's important to like for people to know what country you're from, because each country is so different from another country. Like we were saying about accents, our cuisine is totally different. Nuestra gastronomía es totalmente diferente. Por ejemplo, hace un mes, I went to a Honduran restaurant for the first time, and I had never, nunca había probado la comida hondureña. Nunca. Y it was like such a shock because I was like, ¿y la salsa? Lia, ¿dónde está la salsa? Y Lia de que she's like, oh, you should order this, and this.
Jalapeno.
¿Y la salsa? ¿Dónde está? So I think like that's like people don't even realize. I feel like they just get like, oh yeah, everything falls under this category. Like, every Hispanic likes spicy food, but it's like such a different case.
And I also think it like adds into the stereotypes, right? Like, I know a lot, they have, 2016, 2018, where they're like, oh, the hot Cheeto girl. That's your typical Mexican girl. And so like those stereotypes are like really rampant. And I know Isa's not a hot Cheeto girl. She hates hot Cheetos. So how do y'all think that like other people may have these stereotypes about other Hispanics? How do you think that affects or like harms the community?
Well, for me, like I don't care at all if like people don't know where I'm from or know my background. I mean, if they don't know me, it's okay. Like it's harmless. So I think it's fine.
Well, I think if they don't cross the line of not being respectful, I think if they don't cross that line, I think it'll be fine. It doesn't affect that much because we're getting used to it. We're getting more used to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, we shouldn't get used to it. We should be like, okay, we can be better. We can like stop assuming these stereotypes, and then we can, try to understand. Me as a person that just came into your country, I can understand your culture and your customs better, and so you could understand mine's better. I think it's just a mutual respect thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and I feel like it's kind of like getting better. Hopefully, I hope, and at least in bigger states where like they're starting to recognize, oh yeah, Honduras is different from Mexico, like different on the map.
Yeah.
Colombia is over here, and it's not just Mexico, which I feel like we were talking about this earlier. And I feel like everybody relates Mexicans here to the U.S. is because it's closest. It's like right there, And I mean, I'm assuming people don't look at like the map on a daily, or they don't study it other than geography class. And even then, they're probably just studying the United States.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh yeah, Mexico, Hispanics.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mexico, Hispanics. So hopefully, I mean, like education is getting better and actually like teaching like younger generations that there's more than Mexico. There's this place, this place.
Yeah.
I also know that Americans, like the more they let's say pasan tiempo.
Spend time.
Yeah, the more they spend time with people like us, like internationals and especially Hispanics, they start to understand more, and they start to respect more about our culture, and they get excited with things like oh, you're going to your home at this summer. oh, that's great. I hope you have fun and stuff like that. So I think the more people from here hang with us and spend time with us, I think the more they do that, they get to understand more of our culture.
Yeah. And then I find it like adorable whenever like you do teach like your American friend and then they go and tell like their family and they're like, oh my god, no, they're not just like all from here. They're like this. I have a friend and he does this and this and this and this. I think like that's like it's like touching one person at a time.
I think it really makes you think that like I know that just changing the perspective of one person is not going to affect the way that the whole country sees Hispanics or sees other cultures or ethnicities, but just the fact that like you can impact one person, then that means that there is power in the small numbers, I guess.
For sure. Yeah, and it will depend on like Americans or any other people from here. It will depend on like if they want to know about us or if they want even to relate about us or even if they want to be friend with us. So if they don't want to be friend with us, or I mean it's their thing, like it's up to them. Yeah.
One thing I try to do in my classes is approach things from a position of intersectionality. So if I'm dealing with Southern literature, that doesn't just mean white European descended Southerners. We've got indigenous Southern writers. We've got Southern writers who are immigrants. We've got a broader concept called the Global South, which encompasses lots of countries in the Caribbean and Latin America and South America, and connects, you can make connections between the histories of plantation, slavery, and colonization across the US South and the broader world. And the same goes in my Hispanic film class. We look at films from all across Latin America. We look at some films from Spain. And part of it is seeing what's in common, and part of it is seeing, okay, what is distinctive about each of these industries.
So, okay, I think that was all we have for this episode. Thank you guys for coming. Do you guys want to do the ending with us? Yes. Okay, so this was Latino Living, un podcast para todos. Ciao. Bye.
We're here with
Janaya.
And Janaya, what country do you think I'm from?
I think that Lia is from Honduras.
Yeah! Okay, and what country do you think I'm from?
Cuba?
Ooh.
No. Can I get another try?
Yeah.
Guatemala?
No.
Okay, I give up.
It's close to Guatemala.
Yeah.
It is?
And the United States.
Mexico?
Yay! We love it. Thank you.